Hello, this is just Cole resuming the Manichaean Supersessionist video. I accidentally stopped the recording and I don't know how to seamlessly smash them together. But I was on the point of saying that because Manichaeism is the fulfillment of Christ's teaching, there is no longer a reason for an independent Christian church other than the Manichaean faith, which is the fulfillment of Christianity. In the same way, there's no longer really a reason for Zoroastrianism or Buddhism, even though their primary figures, Zoroaster and Buddha, likewise were divine messengers. We now have the fullness of revelation through the prophet Mani, who, as Jesus said, was sent to teach us all things. Could there be an additional movement that would then fulfill Manichaeism? For instance, some people might wonder, well, was Islam legitimate, or Baha'i, or any of these movements? Well, no. If you have a faith that claims to be the fulfillment or the final revelation, it is. Now, were there Gnostic movements other than Manichaeism that were still within the same trajectory? For instance, were the Cathars or the Bogomils or etc., were they influenced by Manichaeism? Yes. Was there some truth when Manichaeism was virtually snuffed out? Absolutely. But any resurrection of truth, etc., to attain the fullness must be a restoration of Manichaeism. Anything less than that is a deviation from the fullness of the truth, because as we believe, Mani was an apostle of Christ, sent to bring the fullness of truth and to complete Jesus' revelation, which was the penultimate revelation. And so we are in an age of Manichaeism, although it went into eclipse, as was prophesied. Manichaeans themselves prophesied that Mani's writings would be lost. One scribe said how many would be destroyed, how many would be lost, but how many in the last days will be recovered, right? We are going into, no doubt, a new period in the history of salvation, where light, the original Manichaean church, no doubt succeeded in liberating large quantities of light such that we've gone through these dark ages. And the people we are now, we are no longer, as Mani taught, every generation is weaker than that which preceded it, because more and more light has gone out of the world. But we are doubtless of those generations, those ages, as we approach the end and the great conflagration that will last 1400 and some odd years, during which the Manichaean church will once again have a visible manifestation in the world. And I'm not talking just about folk Manichaeism or syncretized Manichaeism mixed with indigenous religions such as may have survived in parts of the world, specifically South China. But I'm talking about an actual Manichaeism that is self-consciously Manichaean and committed to pure Manichaean teaching and reviving that. We are going to see that as the Cathar Guillaume Bilibast predicted 700 years ago, the leaf would become green once more. Say what you will, I think the Cathars, while not Manichaean, clearly were influenced in part by Manichaean teaching, and so were a visible representation of some level of truth and spiritual attainment in the Middle Ages. And one of their last figures prophesied a rebirth of like the Cathar faith in our day. And I think that prophecy is legitimate and is going to be the same as the revival of Manichaeism, which is an even purer stream that was the Manichaean Church promulgated by the prophet Mani, who was the fulfillment of the Holy Spirit. So that was about all I wanted to say about this topic. That is that, well, we Manichaeans regard Jesus, Zoroaster, Buddha, and all these things as legitimate streams. The Manichaean faith is the completion of these, such that whereas they were incomplete and suffered corruptions, the Manichaean faith is the faith that is once and for all the fullness of truth, because it has been taught by the messenger who Jesus himself said would lead us and usher us into all truth. So I hope the Godfather of Greatness blesses you. I hope that you are led ever more and more by the light mind to perceive your true self as a divine spirit. And I hope that together, as we learn more about Manichaeism, we can approach the point within ourselves where when we die, we are able to collect ourselves, that light which is in us, and fashion that into the image of the new man, such that we can escape the cycle of reincarnation and attain unto the new aeon, from whence, at the end of time, we will return to the realm of light. Be well.